Today's problems, we're doing substitution again. The difference is now is in yesterday's, one of the equations had a letter by itself. Okay? So when the letter was by itself, that's the one that you substitute in for that letter. And then you rewrite it and solve it and then find the other one. So in today's problems, in both equations, none of them has a letter that's by itself. So all you got to do is, it's one step extra, is you've got to rearrange one of the equations so a letter is by itself. And they're all pretty easy to pick out. On this one, which would be the one, the top one, right? You would get the y by itself. So all you'd have to do is move this over. So it would change to y equals negative 3x plus 3. Okay? Then you do the same as what we did yesterday. We take what y is equal to, substitute it in the other equation for that y. You got to rewrite it. But in place of the y, you put negative 3x plus 3. And then we solve it. So it'd be 7x, and then a 2 times negative 3x is negative 6x. 2 times positive 3 is positive 6 equals 1. You can combine the x's that are on the same side. 7x's take away 6x's is x. So I just have to subtract 6, and I get my x. X is negative 5. Then to figure out what y is, plug it in. You can use any one of these equations. It's just the one that we rearrange is going to be the quickest. If I put negative 5 in here, then I would get y equals negative 3 times negative 5 is 15 plus 3 is 18. Okay? So on this one, which one would you rearrange, the top or the bottom? Bottom. Get this by itself. So I would just move this over. So it would be y equals, this would change from positive to negative 2x minus 7. So then I've got to plug this in for that. A lot of times it's the y that gets by itself. But every once in a while it's the x, so don't think it's always the y. So I got to rewrite this, 2x minus, this one is a tricky one actually. I got to put negative 2x minus 7 in for y, right? Since it's a minus in front, that's what makes it tricky. You got to put parentheses around it. If it were a plus, it wouldn't matter. But remember, this means you're going to do the opposite of y, which means you got to do the opposite of both of these. So remember, what happens when you got a minus in front of a parenthesis? Changes all the signs. That would change to positive 2x. That would change to positive 7. Again, if this were a plus, you wouldn't have to worry about it. But since it's a minus, you got to change both the signs of it. Equals negative 1. So then we solve it. 2x and 2x is 4x. So I'll subtract 7 and divide by 4. And you get x equals negative 2. So then we got to plug that in right there to figure out what y is. So y equals negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Take away 7 is negative 3. So again, I just want to point out, when we learn elimination next, that would be, if you could choose a method, that would be the quicker method to use than this on these. This one actually is a real quick substitution one. You may think you might want to get that by itself, but this one's quicker. Divide by 5, and you get one of your answers. Y is 3, because the y is equal to 3. 3. So then in order to figure out what x is, you got to put 3 into the other equation. So it'd be 3x minus 3 equals 0, and then you just solve it. Add 3, divide by 3, and x is 1. Okay? So we'll do, I think it's just 10 problems we're doing today. We'll do a couple together.